Are you one of those people who take vitamins every single day and yet notice no improvement whatsoever? Perhaps you've been taking bone supplements for months, memory capsules or fatigue pills, waiting for that moment when at last you'll feel more energetic, clearer-headed or stronger. And yet the days go by, the bottle's empty, and you remain the same, or even worse. You are not alone. Millions of people over 60 years old take supplements every day believing they're doing the best for their health. Folks who make the effort invest their money and hopes in jars full of promises, but over time realize those promises go unfulfilled. Why does this happen? Why are there so many older adults who, despite taking vitamins with discipline, still feel weak, in pain, fatigued or mentally foggy? Is it that those vitamins don't work? Or is there something deeper, something no one is telling us? Today we're going to answer those questions. This video is not a promotion. It's not a disguised sales pitch, nor a commercial touting strange-sounding miracle supplements. You won't hear any "buy this" here. What you will get is clear, useful, and above all, honest information. We're going to talk about the real reasons why many older adults don't improve even though they take vitamins every single day. And I'll also show you how you can change that. The answer might not lie in what you take, but in how you take it, when you take it, what else you do in your daily routine, and what silent obstacles are sabotaging your efforts. This video will open your eyes, and maybe after watching it, you'll begin making small changes that make a big difference in your well-being. But before we continue, I want to know more about you. Tell me in the comments. What is your age, and from which country are you watching this video? I'll love reading your answers. The great lie of supplement marketing. For years, many older adults have been led to believe that the secret to staying healthy, strong, and full of energy lies in a simple pill. One capsule a day, a chewable gummy, a powder that dissolves in water. Take it every morning and you'll see results, they say. And you want to believe it. Because it sounds easy, because it sounds logical, and because deep down, we all want to feel better without too much hassle. The reality is that supplement marketing has been designed to exploit a real need, the desire to age with dignity, strength, and clarity. But it does so by selling expectations that rarely come true. Have you ever experienced this? You know someone who starts a new multivitamin and tells you they're doing it just in case, to prevent, or because they recommended it on TV. You yourself may have fallen into the same trap. A shiny label, a tempting promise, a bottled health offer, and you buy it with hope. But the days go by, and you remain the same. Behind those ad campaigns are companies investing millions in design, catchy slogans, and carefully chosen testimonials. All so that you trust them, so that you buy. It doesn't matter if the supplement works or not. What matters is that you believe you need it. The global dietary supplement industry moves more than $140 billion a year, and each year that figure grows. How do they achieve this? By convincing millions that a daily capsule is the magic solution to all their problems. Yet in many cases, those capsules lack sufficient scientific backing. And worst of all, even when they contain real vitamins, they're not always formulated for proper absorption by your body. Let me tell you a story. Rose, a 74-year-old woman, had been taking a joint special collagen supplement for 3 years. Each jar cost her almost 10% of her monthly pension. She trusted it. She believed it was what kept her on her feet, as she used to say. But one day her granddaughter, who is a pharmacist, reviewed the ingredients and explained that the form of collagen she was using doesn't absorb well, that there's no solid evidence of its benefits, and that many of the excipients were actually sugars and fillers. Rose felt deceived, not by the store, but by an entire industry that plays on older people's good faith. Stories like this repeat around the world. People who believe, who make the effort to take care of themselves, who follow instructions, but see no results because the product never had the power it promised. I'm not saying all supplements are useless, but many on the market are designed to sell, not necessarily to help you. And as an older adult, you need to know that. Marketing doesn't take care of you. Marketing convinces you. That's why it's so important to look beyond the label, beyond the attractive packaging, and the celebrity endorsement on TV. Because when it comes to your health, the truth isn't always found in a pill. The key nobody checks: absorption. Many older adults do the right thing. They buy their vitamins, take them every morning, follow the recommended schedule, yet see no improvement. Why? The answer lies in something almost nobody considers. It's not so much what you take, but what you actually absorb. It's a simple yet decisive detail. Imagine your body is like a sponge. You can pour water on it, but if it's dry, rigid, or damaged, how much water will it actually retain? Very little. That is exactly what happens with supplements in many older adults. It's not that vitamins are missing, it's that the body no longer absorbs them as before. As we age, the digestive system changes. It becomes slower, more sensitive, and less efficient. Stomach acid decreases, and that's fundamental. Why? Because stomach acid helps break down food and release nutrients so the body can absorb them. Without enough acid, vitamins, like calcium, magnesium, or iron, pass through your system and get eliminated without being used. Here's a very common example. Peter, a 78-year-old man, began taking iron supplements because his doctor detected mild anemia. He bought a bottle and took it every day, and after 3 months, his levels were still low. The problem? Peter was also taking a medication for acid reflux. That medication, while helping his reflux, further reduced his stomach acid, preventing proper iron absorption. In other words, though he took iron daily, his body didn't retain it. And this doesn't only happen with iron. Calcium needs adequate acid levels to be absorbed. Vitamin B12 also depends on good gastric function. Even antioxidants like zinc or selenium can be compromised if digestion isn't working well. Do you know what else influences absorption greatly? Your gut microbiota. That community of good bacteria in our intestines is key to processing, transforming, and absorbing certain nutrients. But with age, microbiota also changes. It becomes fragile, easily unbalanced by stress, antibiotics, or a low-fiber diet. If your microbiota is damaged, it's like having an uncoordinated work crew. There's work and there are materials, but they aren't used efficiently. And let's not forget chronic diseases. People with diabetes, thyroid issues, kidney disease, or even chronic gastritis can have altered absorption. It's not that the supplement doesn't work, it's that the body isn't in a condition to receive it as it should. So what's the point of taking something if your body isn't prepared to use it? This isn't about taking more, it's about improving your ability to absorb what you're already taking. Because if you don't, you may be throwing away your money, and worse, missing a real opportunity to improve your health. Part 4. Medications that nullify your vitamins. What you're about to hear is something very few doctors mention, yet it affects millions of older adults every day. Many of the medications you take daily may be preventing your supplements from working. Yes, just as you hear it. It's not that the vitamins you take are faulty or that your body rejects them without reason. In many cases, the real issue is silent interactions between medications and nutrients. Interactions that block absorption, speed elimination, or directly interfere with their function. Here's a very common example. Vitamin B12. This vitamin is key for maintaining energy, nervous system health, and red blood cell production. Many older adults take it to combat fatigue, dizziness, or muscle weakness. But what they don't know is that one of the most common medications, metformin, used by millions to control type 2 diabetes, significantly reduces intestinal absorption of vitamin B12. That means that even if you take your B12 supplement every morning, if you're on metformin, a large part of that vitamin never reaches where it needs to go. And the worst part, you may keep feeling tired, confused, or even depressed, without knowing the true cause is an interaction between your medication and your supplement. Another frequent case is omeprazole and other acid inhibitors. These stomach protectors are prescribed daily for reflux, gastritis, or heartburn. But by reducing stomach acid, They also hinder absorption of nutrients like iron, calcium, magnesium, and vitamin C. In other words, the very drug that protects your stomach may be shutting the door on the nutrients you need. And let's not forget diuretics, commonly used to control blood pressure or heart issues. These meds, though often necessary, increase elimination of essential minerals like potassium, magnesium, and zinc. In other words, you urinate more, but you also lose more nutrients. And if you don't compensate for that loss properly, you can suffer cramps, muscle weakness, or even arrhythmias. The big problem is that nobody tells us this clearly. We trust that if a doctor prescribes one thing and we buy another at the pharmacy, they'll work well together. But the truth is, not all supplements are compatible with all drugs, and mixing them without guidance can make you lose the benefit of both. So what can be done? The recommendation is simple but powerful. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist before combining supplements with medications. Tell them everything you're taking, even if it's over the counter. Do it confidently. They're there to help you, not judge you. Remember, it's not about stopping your medications or abandoning your vitamins. It's about knowing how they interact and making small adjustments that can make a big difference in your well-being. Your body is like an orchestra. If every instrument isn't tuned and in harmony with the others, the music won't sound right. Your body is not what it used to be. Changes after 60. After 60 years of age, the body changes. It's no surprise, but it's something we often forget when we keep taking supplements as if we were 20. Here's the important detail. Even if you take the best vitamins in the world, if your body doesn't work like it used to, it won't use them the same way. Let's break it down. Starting with the digestive system. With age, production of digestive enzymes decreases. Enzymes help break down food so nutrients can enter the bloodstream. If there aren't enough, it doesn't matter how much you eat or what supplement you take. Your body won't get the maximum benefit. It's like trying to fill a glass with a closed bottle. Also, the intestinal lining becomes less efficient. The intestinal villi, tiny structures that absorb nutrients, flatten, weaken, and inflame more easily. This can be due to years of poor diet, stress, intestinal infections, or simply the natural passage of time. Now let's talk about the liver and kidneys. These organs are essential for processing and filtering what enters the body. But with decades past, their capacity to metabolize certain substances diminishes. What the liver once filtered easily may now be more challenging. The same goes for the kidneys, which regulate how many vitamins and minerals should stay or be eliminated. So if you take too much or combine many supplements, your kidneys have to work harder, and they aren't always at their best to do so. There's another detail people overlook. Muscle mass decreases with age, which also affects how the body distributes, stores, and uses nutrients. Less muscle means less tissue where certain vitamins, like vitamin D, can be used properly. And what about hormones? After 60, hormonal balance shifts, and that affects metabolism, energy, calcium absorption, thyroid function, and even mood. Everything is connected. For example, taking vitamin D at 20 is very different than at 70. At 20, your body produces plenty of vitamin D naturally with just a bit of sun. At 70, your skin no longer makes it the same way. Your kidneys don't activate it as well, and your intestines may have more difficulty absorbing it. So even if you take the supplement, it doesn't mean it's doing what it should. Another silent problem is chronic inflammation. Many older adults live with persistent inflammation in the intestines, joints, or internal organs. That inflammation doesn't always cause immediate pain, but it interferes with absorption and transport of vitamins. It's as if your body is busy putting out internal fires and can't focus on distributing nutrients properly. Now, this isn't to scare you. It's not about saying your body is useless. Quite the opposite. It's about understanding it, listening to it, adapting to it. Because if you know these changes, you can choose better supplements, foods, and routines, and give your body exactly what it needs today, not what it needed 40 years ago. Think of it as updating a system. If you used to use one key to open a door and the lock has changed, the same key won't work. It's not your fault or the supplements. You just need a new way to get in. So don't feel bad if what worked before now fails. Your body isn't what it used to be, but it remains your best ally if you learn to care for it as it deserves. The most common mistake: taking vitamins without knowing if you need them. Have you ever taken a supplement just in case? If so, you're not alone. This is one of the most frequent and one of the most dangerous mistakes among older adults. Many begin taking vitamins simply because they heard it on television, from a friend, or because the pharmacy recommended something for energy. The intention is good, of course, but lack of information can end up doing more harm than good. The problem is that taking vitamins without knowing if you truly need them is like taking an antibiotic with no infection. In the best case scenario, nothing happens. In the worst, you disrupt your body, block natural functions, or even cause toxicity. One of the most common errors is assuming vitamins are harmless. They're sold over the counter, come in colorful packages with names like energy, strength, memory. Everything seems natural and safe. But few tell you that excess of certain vitamins and minerals can build up in your body and cause serious problems. For example, iron. Many older adults, especially post-menopausal women, keep taking iron without knowing if they need it. But excess iron isn't easily eliminated. It accumulates in organs like the liver or heart and can cause damage over time. Another case is vitamin A. When consumed in large amounts, especially as a supplement, it can lead to vision problems, liver damage, loss of appetite, and even bone weakness. And the oddest part is that many didn't even know they were taking more vitamin A than necessary. All this happens for one simple reason. Most people don't get tested before starting supplements. You don't need complicated or costly exams. Often a simple blood test can tell you if you're deficient in vitamin D, iron, vitamin B12, or other key nutrients. That lets you make informed decisions, not by guesswork, fear, or trends, but by evidence. Taking a supplement without testing is like buying glasses without knowing your prescription. You might get lucky, but you could also end up seeing worse or harming your eyes without realizing it. Another important aspect is that symptoms we attribute to a deficiency may stem from other causes. Feeling tired doesn't always mean low iron. Cramps don't always signal low magnesium. Sometimes the issue isn't lack of a vitamin, but poor sleep, stress, an undiagnosed illness, or even side effects of a medication. That's why it's so important not to self-medicate with supplements. Even if they seem simple and over-the-counter, they're active substances that affect real processes in your body. What you can do is pay attention to your body, note how you feel and what symptoms arise, and share that information with your doctor or a health professional. Together, you can decide if testing makes sense, adjust your diet, or safely include a supplement. Because at the end of the day, it's not about taking more things, but about taking the right ones, at the right time, for a clear reason. The next time you see a bottle of vitamins in a store, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Am I taking it because someone told me to, or because I was afraid of running out of energy? Your body deserves conscious decisions, not impulses, and you deserve to feel good with confidence and clarity. Habits that sabotage your vitamins without you realizing. Imagine that each morning you take your supplement with all the hope that it will help you feel better, with more energy and health, but you take it along with a hot cup of coffee. Or perhaps you take your iron supplement after breakfast, not knowing that you paired it with milk. What many people don't know is that some of our most everyday habits can sabotage the effect of vitamins without us even realizing it. Let's start with one of the most common: coffee. Who doesn't enjoy a good cup of coffee in the morning? But few know that caffeine can interfere with the absorption of minerals such as calcium, iron, and magnesium. If you take your supplements just before or after coffee, it's likely that your body absorbs far less than you expect. A very clear example is iron. Many older adults, especially those suffering from anemia or fatigue, take iron supplements. But if they combine them with coffee, black tea, or even chocolate, absorption is drastically reduced. The same happens with milk, because calcium competes with iron and can block its uptake. In other words, if you take an iron supplement with a glass of milk, your body will probably eliminate most of the iron without using it. Another silent saboteur is alcohol. Although an occasional glass of wine may not be a problem, regular alcohol consumption can harm the liver, which is key in metabolizing various vitamins. Moreover, alcohol reduces the body's ability to absorb nutrients such as vitamin B1, folic acid, and vitamin B12. And if you're on medications, the effect can be even more pronounced. What about tobacco? Smoking not only damages the lungs, it also reduces vitamin C absorption and depletes antioxidant levels in the body. Furthermore, it increases the need for certain vitamins, forcing supplements to work twice as hard to be effective. Another aspect many overlook is a low-fiber diet. If your eating pattern is based on ultra-processed products with few vegetables and whole grains, your gut flora weakens. And an unhealthy microbiota not only affects digestion, but also prevents proper absorption of vitamins like B12 or K, which depend on certain bacteria to activate them. And pay attention to when you take your vitamins. Not all behave the same. Some, such as the fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, are absorbed better when taken with foods that contain fat, like avocado, nuts, or olive oil. If you take them on an empty stomach, or with very low-fat foods, your body may not make the most of them. It's also important to avoid taking multiple vitamins or medications at the same time, especially if you don't know how they interact. For example, calcium can interfere with magnesium, zinc, and iron absorption. That's why it's often better to take supplements at different times of the day. So what can you do to prevent these habits from ruining the effect of your supplements? Here are some simple tips. Take iron on an empty stomach or with natural orange juice, which has vitamin C and enhances its absorption. Avoid coffee, tea, or milk for at least 1 hour before and after your supplements. Pair fat-soluble vitamins with a healthy fat source. Minimize alcohol and tobacco as much as possible, not just for your general health, but also because they directly interfere with supplement efficacy. Improve your diet by including more fiber, fruits, vegetables, and natural foods. And most importantly, be consistent, but also mindful. Take your vitamins with intention, understanding what you're doing and why. Sometimes you don't need more supplements, you just need to take them better. A small tweak in your habits can make a huge difference in your health. The truth about cheap supermarket multivitamins. You've probably experienced this. You walk into the supermarket and see a huge shelf full of colorful bottles, all promising more energy, immune support, better memory. And the best part, they're on sale. 2 for 1, or 3 bottles for the price of 1. Seems like a great deal, right? But here's an uncomfortable truth that many older adults don't know. Most of those cheap supermarket multivitamins not only fail to help, in many cases, they do absolutely nothing. Do you know why? Because it's not just about what the label says, but how the supplement is formulated and how well your body can use it. It's not enough to list vitamin B12 or calcium. What matters is the chemical form of that vitamin and how bioavailable it is for your body. For example, many inexpensive multivitamins use synthetic or poorly absorbed forms. Vitamin B12, which is so necessary for energy and brain function, often comes as cyanocobalamin, a cheap and less efficient form. Your body must convert it into methylcobalamin, the active form. And what if your liver doesn't work as well as it used to, or if you have absorption issues? Then that vitamin never does its job. The same goes for magnesium. The cheapest formulas use magnesium oxide, which has very low absorption and can cause digestive discomfort. The best options, like magnesium citrate or bisglycinate, are far gentler on your body. Yet you rarely find them in budget supplements. Another thing to watch is tablet quality. Often those hard, shiny pills that look like stones don't dissolve properly in the stomach. Some studies have even found intact capsules in the intestine, never absorbed. It's like swallowing a rock and expecting nutrition. What about added ingredients? Colorants, preservatives, anti-caking agents, sugars, allergens. Many supermarket formulas are full of fillers that contribute nothing to your health and can even trigger reactions in sensitive individuals. So, what should you look for if you decide to take a multivitamin supplement? Here's a simple guide. Seek active forms. methylcobalamin for B12, pyridoxal 5-phosphate for B6, or folate, not folic acid, for B9. Avoid oxides like magnesium oxide or zinc oxide, which absorb poorly. Prefer soft gel capsules or powders, not hard tablets. They dissolve more readily. Check for minimal excipients and artificial colorants. The cleaner the ingredient list, the better. Verify the doses. Many cheap multivitamins contain token amounts just to claim presence, but they fall short of covering your needs. And of course, remember, not everyone needs a multivitamin. If you eat well, sleep well, and have no diagnosed deficiencies, you might not need them at all. The goal isn't to load your body with pills, but to give it what it can truly use. And for that, quality matters, much more than most people realize. When it is worth taking supplements. After everything we've discussed, you might think that supplements are pointless, but that's not true. The full truth isn't found at extremes, neither in believing a magic pill fixes everything, nor in rejecting all supplementation outright. There are situations where taking supplements is necessary, beneficial, and can significantly improve your health. Let's look at clear, real examples. Imagine Teresa, a 74-year-old woman who, after a fall, had a bone density scan. The result was advanced osteoporosis. Her physician prescribed therapeutic doses of vitamin D, well-formulated calcium, and controlled impact exercises. The outcome? By her next checkup, bone loss had halted, and she felt stronger and more confident walking. Here, supplements weren't miraculous, but they were part of the solution. Another case. Emmanuel, an 81-year-old man who felt exhausted and unmotivated. Blood tests revealed anemia due to B12 deficiency. His body couldn't absorb enough from food. He was prescribed an active form of B12, and within weeks his energy improved. He slept better, thought more clearly, and his mood stabilized. What do these cases have in common? A clear diagnosis, a specific prescription, and a positive response. It wasn't taking a generic multivitamin just in case, but meeting a real need. Now let's talk about vitamins and nutrients with solid evidence, especially in older adults. Vitamin D helps maintain strong bones, supports immune function, and may even reduce fall risk. Many older adults are deficient, especially if they don't get regular sun exposure. Vitamin B12, critical for energy, brain health, and red blood cell production. After 60, absorption from food often declines. Medications like metformin or omeprazole raise deficiency risk. Omega-3, fatty acids that support heart health, brain function, and reduce inflammation, especially useful if you don't eat oily fish regularly. Magnesium. For those with chronic stress, insomnia, cramps, or digestive issues, well-formulated magnesium can be very helpful. But as we saw, supplement form is crucial. Even when supplementation is clearly indicated, it should never be a standalone fix. A supplement doesn't replace poor diet, end sedentarism, or compensate for bad sleep or chronic stress. Taking a high-quality supplement at the right time, with medical supervision and as part of an integrated approach, can make a difference. Here are practical tips. Don't self-medicate. Ask your doctor or nutritionist for basic blood work, vitamin D, B12, iron, calcium, magnesium, that already provides very useful information. Pair supplements with good nutrition. For example, take iron alongside vitamin C-rich foods to enhance absorption. Mind timing. Some nutrients absorb better with meals, others on an empty stomach. Ask which is best for each. Move your body. Even gentle exercise helps your body use nutrients better, improves circulation, and strengthens muscles and bones. Rest. Sleep is your natural repair time. No vitamin works well if you live with chronic insomnia. Above all, keep a realistic perspective. A supplement can help, but it's just one tool in your self-care toolkit. Good health isn't contained in a capsule, but sometimes a well-chosen capsule can help you live with more strength, clarity, and independence. We've reached the end of this journey. And if there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this. The problem isn't the vitamins. The problem is the approach. We live in an era where everything seems to have a quick fix. A pill to sleep, another for energy, one more for stronger bones. What almost nobody tells us is that the human body, especially after 60, doesn't need more pills. It needs more understanding. Because it's not just about what you take, but about what you understand about yourself. Knowing how your body works, what it needs at this stage of life, what signals it sends you, and how to listen. Most older adults who take supplements do so out of hope. The hope that something will finally give them back the energy, strength, and vitality they feel they've lost over the years. That hope is valid. It's human. But it can't be based on empty promises or meaningless bottles. At your age, the most valuable thing you have isn't a cabinet full of bottles. It's the deep knowledge of yourself. It's the experience of having lived, of knowing how your body reacts, of recognizing what helps you and what doesn't. That's why I invite you to look with fresh eyes at what you're doing for your health. Don't take supplements just because everyone else does. Don't be led by advertising, fear, or habit. Start with yourself. Have you had blood work done lately? Do you know if you're missing anything? Are you eating well, sleeping enough, moving every day? If those foundations aren't in place, no supplement will replace them. And if you choose to take one, do it consciously, because you know what your body needs, not because you saw an ad promising eternal youth. That doesn't exist. But you can live better, with more clarity, strength, and peace of mind. And that starts with knowing yourself. Now I ask you kindly, did this video make you think differently about what you're taking? If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your age, which country you're watching from, and what changes you'll make starting today. And if you believe this information could help someone you know, a friend, a sibling, a parent, a partner, share it with them. Sometimes a well-timed truth is more powerful than any supplement. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to inform yourself, to question, to see with new eyes something that seemed as simple as a pill. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, mindfully and with care.